Good morning, everyone. My name is Armando, Houston Realtor, and this is your Houston Pulse Market Minute. And before we get into the data, let me ground this in reality for a second. I get messages and calls every week from people asking about moving to Houston, relocating within the city, or trying to figure out whether now is the right time to buy, sell, or just sit tight. And what's interesting is it's never the headlines they're reacting to, it's the confusion between the headlines. And that's why I pay attention to this data because the questions show up long before the stories do. If you're juggling work, family, schedules, and real financial decisions, this update is for y'all. Let's start with rentals because this part quietly sets the tone for everything else. According to the Houston Association of Realtors, HAR, this is their official December and full year 2025 rental report. Single family rentals in Houston were up 9.4% year over year, with 47,292 homes leased last year. And at first glance, that sounds intense. But then you look deeper. Rental inventory jumped 21.2%. Average rent hovered around $2,245, and pricing stayed flat for 6 straight months. Here's the stat that actually matters: 48 days on market. That's the longest we've seen since before the pandemic. Translation: renters aren't panicking, landlords don't have all the leverage, and when renters calm down, buyers stop rushing. That's not a warning sign, that's a market catching its breath. This is where I see people get tripped up because they hear up and down and think the decision should be obvious. It's not. Most of the people calling me aren't asking, is the market good or bad? They're asking, is this the right move for us? That's a very different question. Now, let's talk about where buyers are actually putting money down because this cuts straight through the noise. The Houston Association of Realtors also released their hottest communities report for Q4 of 2025, looking at real estate transaction growth across more than 200 areas. Brookshire was up 198.7%, Waller up 103%, Crosby up 82.7%, Galveston's West End up 50%. In Brookshire, 93% of sales were new construction with average prices around $304,980. Six of the top performing areas came in below Houston's average price of $425,535 and below metro median of $335,000. Let me be blunt here. Buyers aren't chasing hype, they're chasing math. They're choosing payments that leave room to breathe. They're choosing homes that fit real life, not Instagram. And yes, some higher end neighborhoods are moving too, but very selectively. No frenzy, no chaos. Two markets can exist at the same time, and anyone telling you otherwise is oversimplifying it. This is usually where someone pauses and asks me, are we late? And the honest answer is almost every time is no, you're not late. You're not late, you're just early somewhere else. And that's why I don't start conversations with neighborhoods or price points. I start with lifestyle, timeline, and tolerance for risk. Because Houston isn't just one market, it's dozens. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't sound like real estate, but absolutely influences where people choose to live. Rice University recently published an analysis on Texas rolling out education savings account vouchers. This was written by Kat Cosley Trigg with input from researchers at Rice's Kinder Institute. So, starting February 4th, eligible families can apply to use public funds toward private tuition, tutoring, and approved education expenses. So I'm not here to debate policy, I'm here to talk about impacts. This adds flexibility. It doesn't replace good schools, but it does loosen how tightly housing decisions are locked to a single zip code. And flexibility reduces pressure, especially for people relocating to Houston who don't want to force a decision too fast. So, zoom out with me for a moment. Downtown Houston isn't trying to be louder, it's trying to be more visible. According to Realty News Report written by Cynthia Lescalit, hopefully I said that right, Downtown Houston laid out its top 20 initiatives for 2026. So we got more shade, more walkability, street level retail, food access, mixed income housing. Downtown currently has about 11,000 residents, which is roughly one third of what peer cities support. This isn't about overnight price spikes, it's about groundwork. Infrastructure doesn't go viral, but it quietly supports demand over time. Same story with jobs. Houston.com reported an energy infrastructure firm selected the Swift building in the Heights for its new Houston headquarters. Companies don't move offices casually, they move when they're committing. And the Houston Chronicle, reported by Molly Willem, covered the Buffalo Bio Greenway connector finishing before the 2026 World Cup. Green space plus connectivity has a long history of aging well, not instantly, but reliably. So if you're watching this and you're trying to make sense of Houston, whether you're moving in, moving around, or deciding what to do next, here's the honest takeaway from the data and the conversations I'm having every week. The rental market cooled without breaking. Buyers are value driven, not desperate. Education flexibility is increasing, and Houston keeps investing forward. So, no doom, no hype, just signals. And that would do it for your Houston Pulse Market Minute. My name is Armando. If you're trying to make a move and want clarity instead of noise, join me back here daily on my channel for real updates, trusted sources, and real estate explained without the headaches. See you on the next one.